Yep.
Good afternoon, everybody. Chris, Mama Sprout and Papa Sprout, Loma Acres Homestead, and we're out at the hives. We're just doing another inspection today. Haven't done one in this specific hive for a while.
Hang on.
Hello, everybody. This is Papa Sprout, Loma Acres Homestead. Today, Mama Sprout and Papa Sprout are out at one of our hives doing an inspection. I've told you a little bit about my beekeeping theology, if you will, but I haven't told you a heck of a lot. One thing I'm going to tell you today is I don't get in my hives religiously, like every week, like some people suggest. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. If that's what works for you, so be it. For me, I tend to try to let the bees alone if I don't see a problem at my last inspection. So at my last inspection, everything looked fine, and I put this hive on, and so, or this hive, extra hive body, so I'm gonna let the girls work.
Hold that up, I want them to see.
As you can see on this one, this is if I count far away from me coming back, this is a 10 frame hive, and this is frame number 9. 9 on the inside. They're already pulling out. There's nowhere near as much, it's not even visible, but number 9 on the outside, they're pulling out too. You got enough of that, or do you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can set it down.
Now, of course, bees work in their own way, but they don't, and they're like humans. Not every human has to be in the same place doing the same thing for a given job. So I'm pulling out, let's call it frame number 8.
Jeez.
This one was attached to frame number 7 pretty good. You can see a lot
There's nectar dripping off of that.
Yeah, and you can see where some of that broke because that was hooked back into frame number 7. I don't love the way these girls are pulling their wax out, but I'm not going to go and tear it down either, because I very much believe in let the bees do their own thing as long as what they're doing isn't causing themselves harm. And I don't see, you know, a little bit of cross, like you see that right there. That's to me, I mean, they can go down behind that wax. I'm going to pull that one.
Yeah, pull that off.
Because it's just not attached right. Sorry, ladies. I mean, there's no way they should be able to do that. And they're turning this one sideways. So give me a second, y'all. I'm gonna break some more of this off. I'm leaving the wax right close to their hive so they can easily find their way back in. And I'm trying to pull off the hive that is, or excuse me, the wax that is not attached right, but also leave the wax that is attached right. So you kind of see what we're doing there.
Careful, you're dripping nectar down.
That's fine though. It's pretty hot out today, y'all. Here in Ohio, where we are, it's been 110 degree heat index the past several days. Bees love it. I don't know if you can see well, but I mean, this was what they were like before we ever started today. So they're noticing that we're here.
You got a turned out one over here.
Yeah, I don't know why they're doing that so much, but I don't know. Some people say they do this and then they turn it the right way. I don't know.
As long as there's no brood in it, I think
there's not. This is all nectar. Oh,
down it goes.
Man. And yeah, I'm breaking one of my cardinal rules. I'm putting that in backwards from what it was. And I just really hate tearing that down, but some of that stuff, they're just, it's not good for them. Let somebody get trapped, somebody, you know, one of the girls, get trapped in behind the wax when another bee doesn't realize that they're back there. I don't know, they got people that say it's because of this yellow wax we're using, that this wax foundation in here, they don't like that, and that could well be the truth. Look, then there's a perfect, same wax foundation, and there's a perfectly drawn frame.
I guess we just need to train some of them.
Here's one that's drawn and full of nectar.
Probably weighs a ton.
That bee right there a minute ago, I just flipped off my finger, tried to sting me. Thankfully I had these gloves on. Good gravy.
And then on the back there's a...
That's already, they're capping that off. It's sugar water, but it's from nectar, so it's not really honey per se. And then we got, I don't know. So any of my other beekeeper watchers that know this stuff better than me, feel free to let me know what in the heck they're doing, why they're doing this, what can we do as their keepers to prevent that, because I have probably just torn and will continue to tear off a little more. It'll probably be 2 to 3 weeks worth of work of them barely attaching comb.
Maybe you should trim off the bottom, because it seems like they're building it up from those pieces that are hanging off the bottom.
No, I will keep that in mind.
We'll just see if they rebuild it from the bottom next time.
Exactly.
Because it seems like they're building up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The way that they're shaped, it's like they're building up from the bottom, so maybe...
Let me throw just a touch more smoke in here, because not really in the hive, but in the air. Because they're getting a little hyperactive. Understandably, I'd be hyper if someone in my house destroying it too. Don't get wrong what I'm saying. This is just an all.
See on the bottom? Look at how they're congregating on the bottom and building up from that.
Well,
scrape that off.
What that is, honey, is that's all, they've stored nectar in there.
I understand. Scrape it off and see. They need to know not to build on the bottom there, because I think they're building up from that. So.
And that may be well the case. So they probably, in the last, it's been 3 weeks since I've been in this hive, and they probably built out 2 full frames and several parts of other frames, and by several parts I do mean properly built. They'd probably be, if they hadn't built those, what I just tore off, they'd probably be 6 frames into this hive.
Hey, before you put that in, scrape off that bottom on the side over there.
Alright, a little trivia for everybody out there in YouTube land. Why do bees use the 6-sided is it hexagon or is that 5?
Hexagon?
Yeah, 6-sided hexagon to build their comb up in, as opposed to any other number of sides? I want to see what everybody's got to say about that. And then after several days, I'll post an answer and a pinned comment on this video. There is a scientific reason for it, believe it or not. And to me, when I found out that answer, I thought it was quite interesting. And I think those of you who don't know, I'm getting beat all over the place. Once I found out, I just found it quite interesting. The girls are rather upset with me. I am going to pack this one back up. I know that the queen's in there because they're working good. I did not see any brood up here, but that doesn't mean she's not in here. Frankly, if the queen wasn't still alive and active, these girls would be being lazy and nothing would be getting done. And I'm thoroughly convinced just by the amount of work they're doing that she's still in there. So I don't need to break off the top box and make sure she's in there. Then I won't have to get down with all the guard bees and get even more hyperactive bees wanting to protect the hive. So we're going to close her up. We're going to get her all the way closed up, and then I'm going to put the new bottle of feed in. These girls have been going through a quart of feed. When I first installed the nukes, it was a Friday, and by Wednesday, it was a Friday evening, by Wednesday I had to put new feed in, a quart of feed Friday to Wednesday, excuse me, and now because they've grown and they've got more bees working the food and getting it stored, we're going about Friday to Monday. So that shows growth too. So all right, we're going to pause. We're going to look at the other hive later this evening, and we'll get this video up probably on Monday. God almighty! Let me run in and grab a rubber glove. Wow. That's crazy. Right, here we go, going into the undisclosed locations business. Most of the time they're not even going to bother that I'm in there with them. As you can see by the ones on the top here, just tra-la-la-la-la, they think. But they do notice all that popping that's going on, and as I lifted this up, they let out a big roar. You probably didn't really hear it, though. See if I can shoot some of them guys down off of. This one here, last time we were in, it had me a little, what's the word I'm looking for, a little frustrated with, well, it's kind of like the one we looked at earlier in this video. They had their stuff all out of sorts, but I just left this one alone. Got a drone point here. Sorry, Mr. Drone. These girls have gotten this glued in. Propolis is what they put propolis everywhere. Now, that's part of the reason I try not to get in here more than I have to, because I just broke all that propolis. And as soon as I put this back together, there are going to be a lot of them that stop anything else they're doing to re-propolize everything. Here, get a shot of this, honey. There is red nectar in there. I think that's really neat when you see the different colors of what they're bringing in. So this would, counting the way I counted the other one earlier, starting from away, I'm starting on this side, so I count from here 1 through 10. This is number 10, the inside. This one here, I can tell you, hey mister, man, you got yourself propolized in there. They must not like that drone right there. They propolized him into the hive. Look how just they're nice and calm. This one's got a lot of that red in it too. Everybody wants to tell me what they guess that to be. We're in central Ohio, if that helps anybody.
No, we're in southwestern Ohio.
I apologize. I meant central north to south. We're in western. Just so that anybody who might know what grows here say, hey, in July you've got this running that's red. Cherry maybe? We're doing really well at drawing this one out. And there's some brood in that one. Nice. Regular worker brood and a little bit of drone brood down at the bottom, which is what we expect to see. There are quite a number of both capped and uncapped larvae in this one. I'm so thrilled compared to what I saw last time I was in here. What you saw me tearing off of that hive earlier in this video is what this one looked like all throughout. But I just left it go. And look, they look so much. You can see a little bit of that is still happening in here, but not like it was. Anyway, spin that around, and that's all brood, capped brood, which, in a number of days will turn into new worker bees. I don't know what that was that just took off. That was noisy. This is heavy.
Oh, look at the other side of that, though.
Yeah. See, that's all. This is part of the problem we were having last week. Or earlier in the other hive. Tear that down. I hate to do that to them, but this whole... You may want to turn that off and back away, because I'm getting. You saw I got in there and saw some comb that was burr comb, or some frames that had comb on it that just wasn't right. Let me be real honest with you here. Everything I've heard from every beekeeping video I've watched, every beekeeping person I talked to, said there's a point of that comb that you can accept in your hive and won't be any issues, but there comes a point in time where it's too much and it's going to cause problems in the hive. What problems it causes, I don't know. How much or where exactly the line is that's too much or not enough, I also don't know, but I kind of gauged what I've seen on other people's videos what I see in here. And some of that stuff which you see in the yard there, I took off the hive because it's past what everybody seems to say is acceptable. All in all, really thrilled with the progress this colony is making. They're absolutely taking in a lot of feed of the sugar water, but they've also found a flow somewhere of red honey or red nectar. I'm glad to see. I'm going to tell you, Friday I'm going to open them up again and I'm going to look very quickly on the top. I'm not even going to pull any frames out. If I see them covering all of the frames, I'm putting the first honey super on of the year. That's exciting because that's farther than we got last year with our hive. Now, putting their feed on them. Come on, sweetheart. I try not to smoke bees. I've said that in numerous videos I've made about them. Try not to smoke them when I have to. You just saw me just blow a breath down on them. I've got a bunch of wax comb that's filled with nectar, and unfortunately some with brood. I just leaving it right here in front of the hive overnight. Even in tomorrow they'll clean this out, put the stores back in their hive, repair the damage I caused, and all these bees will fly back in there. I just wanted to point out that, I'm going to step away a little bit. I wanted to point out that we did break the video while I was in this hive, and it's because I took a frame of nurse bees and I shook them real hard. Well, that's making bees fly everywhere. And you see that I'm not wearing any gear. Mama Sprout's wearing even less gear, so I didn't want her to get stung.
Mama Sprout doesn't wear any gear.
I wear very little gear. We're real comfortable in them, and as I've said before, gear is a personal choice. If you are a little leery of not having gear, wear it. Don't let anybody pressure you any way or another. But real impressed with this hive. In a few days we'll be adding a honey super. I wanted to mention this past weekend we made a trip to Lehman's. We decided not to do any video this time of the place because we just had so much trouble last time, but I wanted to mention we saw a number of channels. I wanted to give a shout out especially to Sakima's Ridge. We'll get a link down in the description of this one. They gave us some amazing zucchini bread and a bag full of something that that little Sprout said, "Dad, it smells really bad." Quite funny. I wish we could get a shot of him doing that, but we didn't. He gave us a bag of wool, so we wanted to send a shout out to them as thanks. And with all of that said, y'all, thanks for watching. Please feel free to share, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, etc. Comment, answer the questions we asked earlier in the video, or if you have any comments on the burr comb they build, we'd love to interact with you about that. Y'all, thanks. Remember, this is the day the Lord has made. Always rejoice and be glad in it. We'll see you next time.